everybody on this call knows me and my reading that I do. And, I've kind of continued reading through the book, The New Professional. So before I turn it over to Stephanie and Gladys for their part of the presentation, I just wanted to read something to you all that stuck out to me. I've been talking to Mike a lot, and it's summertime, and it seems like things could be a little bit slow and getting a little bit stuck, and so I'm always looking for ways to motivate myself, and reading does that for me. So the chapter that I'm reading is chapter 8, and it talks about answering the question why. And a gentleman, a top network marketer, Steve Schultz, he's a network marketer and trainer for a big network company, and he said at a gathering that where he was aided by his flip chart and his presentation, that he explained his company's business opportunity with efficiency and clarity. Many in the crowd took note, others just listened intently. Steve's explanation was simple, factual, and convincing. Suddenly he felt silent, put down his pointer and pen, and looked out at the audience. I can teach you how, but I can't teach you why. What you have to do on your own is figure out the why. In other words, Steve was asking his audience to shift their focus from a dispassionate, fact-based inquiry about an industry to a more personal evaluation about its application into their own lives. We suggest you now do the same. Only you can determine whether your why is strong enough to lead you to this business, and whether having arrived, you find it's the right kind of business and lifestyle for you. There was another thing that kind of jumped out at me, and it says, after years of meeting literally thousands of network marketers, we have discovered that the answer to the question, why do this business, can be varied and diverse as the people in the business. Some have known little but misfortune their whole lives. Others were sitting at the top of a highly respected professional career. Some just wanted to make a little extra money to pay off a few bills. Others were determined from the start to make millions. Some are high school and college dropouts. Others have MBAs or law or medical degrees. Some joined to climb out of poverty. Others joined because they were already making six-figure incomes but had no time to enjoy their affluence. Some signed up so they could do something together as a family. Others did it to save their families. Some began as passionate believers in the power of network marketing. Others believed these businesses were a sham but joined as a favor to a friend or family member who invited them in. Yet we have also noted and documented through facts and examples that economic uncertainties and time pressures combined with a significant upgrade in network marketing industry practices and opportunities have steered the demographics of the industry in a new direction. A greater number of previously accomplished professionals who in the past had been satisfied with their traditional career and highly suspicious of network marketing are asking why and finding their answers here. So I love this book. I love always searching for new information, and this reading that I just did is everything that Mike and Sai Hernandez have been talking about since the day I joined this company. And it rings true with the training that we just put together about helping to identify and qualify and help people to see their why and why this industry would be a fit for them. We're on the right track. I just think that the most important thing that we can do for ourselves is keep learning and never give up. And that's why for me as a leader in this industry and as somebody who is learning from Mike and Sai, I invited Stephanie. I met with her at a business function, obviously through Healthy Home, connected with her, and I really saw a fit for us to be able to have this conversation together. And I asked her to come on to share with us some other ways that we could think about how this industry could benefit us, not just from the business perspective, but also from the financial managing our money and tax advantage end. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to turn it over to you, Stephanie. I apologize I can't see your beautiful faces on the computer, but I am so glad you're here with us, and take it away.
All right, well, thank you, Joan, and thanks for having us again. This is Stephanie Levin with Merrill Lynch in the Delray Beach, Florida office. And when Joan asked me to speak about some finances, I was thrilled to do so. And then we during our speaking, we decided that it would be nice for you to have some tax information. And as a financial advisor, I'm actually not qualified, truly, to give tax advice. I have a lot of resources, and I decided to reach out to one of my fabulous resources, Gladys Gomberg, who is she's a partner at Wolfson CPA firm in Coral Springs, Florida. She's been doing this for 19 years. She's my personal accountant. And she's the person who, when I have questions about taxes, when my clients come to my office, I call her. So I asked her to come tonight, and of course she agreed to. So I'm going to let her begin.
I want to start off with congratulating you for starting your home-based business. The topic of tonight's conversation is the tax advantages of having a home-based business. So since you're working out of your house and you're in business for yourself, it's important that you're aware of how to make the best of your tax deductions. So today, I'm really going to focus on one deduction that really differentiates a home-based business from other businesses, and that's the home office deduction. So the big question is, what qualifies as a home office? The IRS requires that the office space that you'll be claiming is used regularly and exclusively for business, and that it's your principal place of business. So what does this all mean? So exclusively means that the office area must be designated as an office and be used exclusively as your office. For example, your office area cannot also be used as your craft desk. But you're able to have one room that has a dual purpose. So you can have one section of the room that's like your crafting area, and the other side's your office area. But you're only going to be able to claim that part of the room that's your office. I have a friend who converted his dining room into an office. He's in the media production business, and there's no dining room table, only his desk and his equipment. So he's able to claim the square footage of that whole area, although it's where the dining room should be. There's no dinners being eaten there. So one of the requirements, as I previously mentioned, is that it must be used regularly for business. So what this means is that you must continuously use this area as your office, not just occasionally or incidentally. So if you're out on the road a lot, but still regularly use your office space for administrative purposes or paperwork, this is certainly okay, and it's going to work. So the final requirement is that the home office must be your principal place of business. Usually, if you're paying rent for an office space outside your home office may not necessarily be your principal place of business, unless you can clearly somehow prove that you meet the clients in your home and you really use that space a lot for business as well. But I usually advise clients against that, because that's where you have things like a red flag coming up. But you can also take into consideration the square footage used to store inventory. So I'm not sure if your business requires you to purchase and hold inventory. I'm not clear on that. But if you use a space to hold inventory, you can also add up that square footage to the area to use as a home office deduction. Does anyone have any questions about this?
Yeah, so Gladys, it doesn't require that we hold inventory, but some people do. So that's a great point to know. And hey,
right, so if you have a closet in the room. I'm sorry?
I was just going to say, I can't see the hands up tonight. So Holly, if you can manage questions, if you can ask people, to raise your hands, if you can manage that and see who's raising their hand to ask questions. If that doesn't work, you can always text me at 561-262-2968 so we can get Gladys to answer any questions that you have.
Definitely, thank you. I don't see anybody raising their hands as it stands. And again, please reach out to Joan. You can also text me 452353867. But thank you for clarifying, because I do actually, as a business person, it's not obligatory, but I do keep some extra products. So I do have an office space. So thank you. That's really great to know.
And another thing I suggest to a lot of people, if in doubt, take a picture of your office space. Some people move later on. So I suggest that to people a lot. I'm like, take a picture, because things change over the years. Rooms change, situations change. So that's something else that you can do. Okay, so there's not any questions. I'm just going to move on. So now we've established what qualifies for a home office deduction. So now we're going to take a look at how this home office deduction is calculated. So once you've established what your home office space is, you must calculate the square footage of the area. And then you're going to calculate what percentage of this area is as it relates to your entire house. For example, let's say your office space is 10 by 10. So you have 100 square feet. Then let's say your total house is 2,000 square feet. So this means that 5% of your home is used for business. Therefore, 5% of your home expenses can be used for your home office deduction. So next, let's take a look at the home expenses that we can actually use for this calculation. So we have things as utilities. That includes water, your light bill, gas if you use gas, not gas for your car, but the gas for your home, and any other utilities that benefit the entire home. You have your alarm, you have pest control, you have insurance, whether you own the house or rent the house, and you have HOA fees. Those can add up to a lot in certain places. Next, you have general repairs or maintenance that benefit the entire house, such as if you fix the air conditioning, and if you have a central AC, that is, or if you have a cleaning lady that comes in and cleans. Believe it or not, your lawn maintenance, because let's say a client is coming to visit you and you want the outside of your house to look good, you can certainly take that into consideration. If you own your own house, you can actually take 5% of the mortgage interest and real estate taxes that you have not already taken as a deduction on another part of your tax return. If you rent, you can actually deduct 5% of your annual rent. And this can be really significant for some people that rent. I mean, it can add up to a bigger deduction than if you own your house. I've seen really big ones out there. So you can also deduct depreciation if you own a house. Does anybody know what depreciation is? I don't know. Okay, depreciation pretty much gives you the ability to write off a portion of the purchase price of your home. For example, let's say you purchased a home for $200,000. If you've established that your home office is 5%, you can write off in 1 year 5% of what the IRS would otherwise allow you to deduct if it was like a rental property. Not 5% of the purchase price. And I don't want that to get confused. So the IRS would usually let you deduct about $5,100 a year if it was a rental property. So you can take 5% of that, $255 or so. The ability to take this depreciation on a piece of real estate actually lowers the value of when you calculate the gain when you sell your house. So you have to be really careful. If you ever sell your personal residence, you don't have to pay tax on the gain on anything less than $250,000 if you're single, and like $500,000 if you're married. So if you're nowhere near these figures, you may not have anything to worry about. However, just keep in mind that the total depreciation deductions over life lower the value when you calculate the gain on the sale. So let's take something that might be a little bit more relevant. You have to be careful if you're considering turning your personal residence into a rental property, because this happened with me. If you turn your house into a rental property, and you've been like writing off the house for years and years before you did this, and you go and sell the house down the road, you no longer have that exemption we were just talking about. So you really have to pay attention. You have to pay tax on the entire gain, well, hopefully it's a gain, when you sell the property. So you'll definitely have to add up all of that home office depreciation over the years and add it back to a gain. So it can be kind of tricky. Quite frankly, the last house that I lived in, I knew I was going to turn it into a rental property. I didn't even bother taking the home office deduction because it was such a small space and I didn't even want to go there. So, but I had to mention it. It's worth a mention. It might apply to some people. So you can also write off direct expenses of a home office. Let's say someone paints your office. Let's say you buy some office furniture. You can certainly write that off. Does anybody have any questions before I move on?
No, I mean, I just hope that everybody is seeing that, we have our hands on something big here where we're now able to become a member of the Healthy Home Company and save on having the safest, best, most scrutinized products, even if we choose not to build a significant business, but just earn enough to get our products paid for. And now you add these tax advantages that Gladys is talking about. And to me, it makes it a little bit more of a no-brainer. Why would anybody get involved and not stay involved having now this additional benefit that I never really thought about until I sat with Stephanie at lunch that day. So I'm excited. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
But I actually wanted to mention something because I've heard this a lot over the years. People are like, I don't want to take that home office deduction. It's just a red flag. Stephanie actually just talked about that because we're sitting in her home office right now.
Pre-Gladys, my accountant told me, don't take a home office deduction. And again, I'm not a tax person. I'm a financial person. It's a whole different ballgame. And I said to her, I said, I never took it because my accountant said it's a red flag for the IRS.
And, you know, quite frankly, when I first started doing taxes like 19 years ago, people said the same thing to me in my office. Don't even bother calculating it. I've never seen someone audited and then just pick up the home office deduction. It's something else that gets you audited with this. As long as you're doing it the right way and you're writing off the correct things, you'll be fine.
So everybody needs to make sure they talk to their own personal CPA
exactly
about how they would do this for their own personal needs.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And if they have questions, I can send you out Gladys's phone number. She's more than happy to talk to anyone and answer some questions for them and get them on their way, get everyone on their way to really plan for this. And that's what we've been talking about this whole time. We spoke about last week is really just starting a plan. Mm-hmm. And once you get started, then it makes it so much easier to continue. But without a plan, you just end up spending everything and it's gone. And
yeah,
I've seen,
and that's why that was our initial conversation. Is that I've seen that happen, and for me, we're adding additional income, whether it's $10,000 a year, $20,000 a year, $120,000 or $500,000, whatever the number is, we're adding additional income. And if we're not smart about it and we don't plan and have these conversations, then oftentimes we don't really see the value of what we're doing because it just gets absorbed into life. So absolutely, yeah. I'm excited for this partnership. I'm excited to have you participate with us once a month just to keep us in line with what we should be doing when it comes to our financial gains with this business.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add a couple quick more things. If calculating all these specific expenses seems too burdensome and complicated and daunting, and you're confident about one thing, the square footage of your office space that's used regularly and exclusively for your business, the IRS recently, back in 2013, actually began allowing for a simplified method for your home office deduction. So you basically just take the square footage of the office area and you multiply it by the IRS's prescribed rate for that year, which right now is $5. So if your office area is 200 square feet, then you take that by $5 and you have a $1,000 deduction. But there's some limitations to this. It doesn't allow you to also take the depreciation deduction, which we just spoke about. And your square footage can't be greater than 300 square feet. And finally, you can't carry forward the deduction if you have a loss, which I'll go into next really quickly. So you're all in business to make a profit. So that's the goal here. But if the business is already showing a loss for the year, which may be the case for many the first year, you're not going to be able to actively take that deduction the tax year. But guess what? You can carry it forward to the next year and take it next year along with next year's home office deduction. Does anybody have any questions?
No, that's fantastic.
Holly, are you seeing any hands up?
No, I don't see any hands up. But I just want to add too that when we're looking at the big picture, it's really important for us to embrace this now because when we're thinking about just thinking long term, I think this is really maybe on someone's radar or not, but just considering really being prepared for what will come for us as we know how big this future will be with the company. So no, I don't see any questions as we stand, but I can't thank you ladies enough for this incredible information, and I'm excited to have you come back and share more with us.
And I just wanted to add that, average, the home office deduction isn't your saving grace. I've seen it be $1,200 to a lot higher if you rent your home, but this is what tax planning is about. It's all the little things that add up to your whole goal. So you take some of my advice, you take some of Stephanie's advice, and you start adding it all together, and it all helps you tremendously if you take a little bit here and a little bit there and you sprinkle it all around, I say.
Yeah. So Stephanie, if you can get me Gladys's information so that if anybody has any questions that they were not comfortable asking in this open forum, I'd be happy to, to share that information with them so they can ask her directly.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us
Fantastic,
again.
ladies. Thanks.
And we'll do some more financial planning next month with you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Joan, do you want
guys,
to discuss the event information?
Say that again?
Would you like to discuss the event information that we have coming up with Sean and Tylene?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to go in. I'll just go because ours is coming up on August 3rd. So just we're trying to streamline, just so everyone knows, to keep our training sessions down a little bit, less time consuming. We're trying to keep them down to about a half an hour or so. Mike's actually out this evening. He's doing a meeting for someone. So we want to just give this information for you, so some financial information. But we also want to discuss in the New York, New Jersey area, we have Sean and Tylene coming, and that event will be on Monday, August 3rd in Hawthorne, New York. So that is posted in the Dream Team Facebook page. And just to give you an idea of what that's looking like, we really are opening up and talking about some general health. And ours is being called Busting Myths about low energy, weight gain, poor athletic performance, etc. And then clearly, we're going to be discussing a call to action with a toxic-free body environment, and the cause, and of course, the healthy home solution. Now, Jones had a great idea on their end. They had two events coming up a couple days later in Florida. What they decided to do is open it up and make it a live stream event. And Joan's going to go into the details. I believe it's the 6th, but it's going to be really cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to promote in our area in New York for the 3rd to fill up that room, bus and seats. And then what I'm also going to do is we're open still. We have time with them on Tuesday as well. So we're Alexander's throwing that around right now, what we're going to do, whether it's going to be training with them, still a little bit up in the air. But for Thursday, for Joan's event with Mike in Florida, that live stream is going to be really, really exciting. I spoke to some of our partners here in our area today. I have some of my leaders that are 5 or 6 hours away in the Pennsylvania area. And what we're going to do is rally people together and get people in your home and make it exciting for people that either couldn't attend the live event, have them in your homes or have them gather wherever they can in the comfort of someone's living room, a library, wherever you can do it in front of a computer or TV. And get them in front of Sean and Tylene. They're absolutely brilliant, and the health information that's going to be shared, and the way we're bringing the awareness with Healthy Home will be really, really exciting. So, Joan, could you please go ahead and give us the details about your event?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I also want to give a shout out to Kim Cotter. I don't know if she's able to be on tonight, but in Chicago, they have an event coming up actually before New York, New Jersey, and that's going to be the 30th, I believe, the 30th of July. It's all posted on the Team Hernandez or the Dream Team Facebook page. Everybody needs to be plugging into that page every day. Even if you have a full-time job, you should make it your duty to check that page every single day because we're always posting such important information there. But I have decided with, talking to Mike and Holly and Alexandra, we decided that making the events that we were going to do here in Florida live streaming just made more sense because we have teams spread all across the United States. I had got part of my team in Alaska. I've got some folks in Monroe, Louisiana. I've got Dallas. I'm kind of spread all over the place, and I felt like those folks would be cheated if we were just doing it here in Florida. So we're going to give this a try. I think being able to use technology in our business now, I believe, is going to help get us to the next level. So I'm encouraging all of you to take to heart the reading that I shared out of the New Professional and engage with people about this opportunity. Have discussion that helps them to see why this would be an amazing fit for them, why this opportunity of a lifetime could be just what they were looking for, whether it be that they're looking to help offset child's extracurricular activities or a car payment or helping to make a mortgage payment, or that they're just fed up with their job, or they work so much they can't enjoy their money, whatever it is that they connect to, and show them how this opportunity could be the answer that they're looking for. And now we'll connect them in to this live stream event. Like Holly said, we're going to be focusing on physical, nutritional, and financial health. I'm so excited to have Sean and Tylene. They're fired up and excited about this conversation. We're taking this to a different level. You know, I've been involved with the company since the beginning, and honestly, the meetings were always kind of morose and sad. I mean, cancer is a sad topic, and, you know, all the illness that we've always covered, it's, you know, it's alarming and scary, and it leaves people feeling a little anxious. And so we're putting a new twist on things. We're focusing more on the excitement of the possibilities that we have our hands on here. Yeah, the fact of the matter is the chemicals we're using every day and the crap in the food that we're eating, you know, in our diets all the time, they're not good for us and they're causing problems. But, you know, the cool part is we've got our hands on an amazing solution. And so I think it's coming at it from a new angle with excitement and vigor, and just trying to rally the troops together to realize that changing the conversation up a little bit is going to change our results. And so be on the lookout. I've already posted this online event on the Facebook page. If I have your email, if you're part of my email list, it's gone out in an email. And I will have the link set up for that shortly. I'm looking to use corporate platform so that we have more space available. So just be on the lookout in the next couple of days for that. If anybody has any questions, I'm always available. You can reach me at 561-262-2968. Trying to keep with time. Right now, we're at like 30 minutes on the nose. So if nobody has any questions, again, now is our time. I mean, the company is making some dramatic changes to our back office, to our website. We've got new products that are going to be launching. This is the time to really get yourself geared up and focused and ready to knock this out of the park, because what's going to happen is the train's going to take off, and if you're not doing it now, you're going to miss the opportunity. And I would hate to see that happen to anybody who's participating in these calls, because those of you participating are the ones who see what we see and believe what we believe. And I just want us to lock arms and make it happen with my girl, Holly.
Yes, absolutely. And I have to share as well that just really quickly, audiences. So, you know, if you've done a direct selling company before, a network marketing company before, if you have a network of people you've dealt with, please get creative with your thinking, with who you're talking to. We have a family, a neighbor, close friend that we think of as family, and their oldest son just graduated high school, is going off to college. He's into Healthy Home, and, you know, they're members and all that. But when I mentioned to him this event, he's very into fitness. That generation of people are very, very into fitness. They're very, very well read and aware about food and nutrition, where our food comes from. They're very keen on GMO and all these different issues. So, you know, have these conversations with people. And the really cool thing is that we're not, you know, just doing a black and white cut and dry recruiting people here. We really are simply, again, doing the right things, sharing information. So think of your audience. I would really encourage you to get creative and talk to some, you know, college students, you know, anybody that you can speak to, because if at the end of the day, whether you know Sean and Tylene, who created One Body, or not, they do have their own celebrity status. They have trained. They can't really go into detail, you know, because of the privacy, but they give a great deal of input to the NBA, the NHA, the NFL. I mean, it's a big deal. And to get in front of them for free is very exciting for a lot of people. So please take advantage of that, and please get creative having people get in front of these, you know, live stream events as well.
Yeah, and on the live stream event, I've invited Dr. K to participate with us, and I also have a 24-year-old self-made millionaire who I've invited to participate, and he just authored a book that's being published on entrepreneurial sustainability. Look, we're coming at this from all angles, because, again, I think that's what it takes for us to succeed today. It's not just a cookie-cutter, old-school MLM. You know, we've got our hands on something different and exciting, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm so fired up right now I can't even understand it. One more thing before we say goodnight is anybody here local with me in South Florida, Brian Fryer, who is a leader in the company, has started a team in the northern part of Palm Beach County and into Stewart, and he's going to be here for a meeting on Friday and has opened it up to us. And I'm going to be going with a couple of folks on my team. If you're local and you have some new people you want to expose to Healthy Home, it'll be a fun meeting, a lot of good energy there. So just private message me and I can get you the information. So have a great night, guys.
Good night. Thank you so much for your time, guys. We will shoot out the message for Wednesday's overview opportunity webinar, very likely tomorrow, and I'll get it to you tomorrow or Wednesday to invite your new people. Thank you so much.
Yep, and I think I'm gonna be doing that one. So
all right.
All right. Bye,
the
guys.
ladies in the house. Good night, everyone. Thank you.